The morning after. Oh my goodness. Just waking up. I wake up this morning and Sean Strickland is still the UFC middleweight champion. And Frank Martin, he's still a dog. Yeah, rumors going around that Frank Martin actually turned down Sugar Shakur Stevenson over the Gervonta Tank Davis matchup. They saying that he possibly is going to be fighting Tank Davis instead. Well, Sugar Shakur Stevenson, he he put the kibosh on that whole. Dude, those are rumors. Y'all just trying to cover up for Frank Martin being a drunk. Frank Martin don't even have another fight lined up at all. He just has cold feet, second thoughts. So on the other hand, no. We'll talk about that. First, we got to talk about Adesanya losing to Sean Strickland. Or Sean Strickland defeating Adesanya. How about that? I mean, it was a shock. I mean, if you look at the odds and everything, it was a definite shock. I do want to give love to UFC, though, because, you know, in boxing, in order to be the champion, you have to beat the champion. UFC, if you win, you won. If you win, you won. All right? A great performance, in my opinion, a dominant performance from Strickland, though you can give 2 rounds to Izzy and 3 rounds to Strickland, however you want to do it. To me, it's dominant in the way, you know how Terrence Crawford versus Showtime Sean Porter was a close fight when it comes to like the scorecards and everything like that, but Terrence Crawford was completely comfortable in it. You have the sense that he was comfortable. That's Strickland. Strickland, when he was fighting Adesanya, he was comfortable, and you can tell that he had Adesanya figured out. Adesanya on Instagram showing that he's all right, showing that he's okay.
Woo! It's not that bad. Nothing broken. A little touched up. Alright, we gravy, baby. Still thriving. It's all good.
Well, we'll see what happens in a rematch if there's a rematch. Hulk smash. And that's the black. 2 sugars. Here we go. I actually put some cream in there this morning. Frank Martin, Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson called bullshit on all of that. And, you know, I don't know. I don't know where the reports are coming from that Frank Martin will be taking on Tank. From my understanding, Tank is going to be taking on Isaac Cruz. Okay? I think people are just talking and hoping that Frank Martin didn't just flat out duck him like he did. And I'm telling you, the fingers are out. It's the Duckarone Pizza. Duck pies. And that's what it is. Sugar Shakur Stevenson just flat out communicating that he just didn't want any smoke. Sugar is now calling out Edwin, who's been calling him out for a while. We'll probably get that fight. I wouldn't mind Gio Cabrera, who was robbed of that knockdown against Isaac Cruz. If he wasn't robbed of that knockdown, he would have beaten Isaac. He was robbed of beating Isaac Cruz. How about that? Cabrera exposed him. I wouldn't mind Cabrera versus Sugar Shakur Stevenson. But Edwin as well, if there's no Edwin Cabrera. But I want to talk about this too. Big news. Teofimo Lopez has been elevated to Super WBO champion. Keep that in mind. Super WBO champion. What is that? There's flexibility when it comes to mandatories. Speaking of which, Gervonta Tank Davis versus Isaac Cruz. Gervonta being a regular WBA champion with Devin the American Dream Haney fighting Pro Grey in December at 140 and vacating his titles. Whoever wins between Tank and Isaac Cruz would be elevated to Super WBA champion. Why am I bringing this up? Pick an old scab. That's all the franchise title was for the WBC. It was nothing but a super title. And the Super WBO, the WBO, they understood, hey, let's not call it the Dynasty title. Let's call it Super. Why? People deal with names. They can't. y'all heard franchise like, yeah. If Mauricio Suleiman called the WBC franchise title the Super WBC, Teofimo Lopez would have been undisputed. He would have been considered undisputed. All they needed to do, instead of calling it something else, WBO saw that and was like Super WBO champ because people can, for some reason, when it comes to names, not what the title means and what actually happened and that you've seen it before. When it comes to names, that's everything. Teofimo Lopez is now Super WBO champion. Everybody's going to be able to digest that. Couldn't digest the franchise title. That's sad. The problem with the franchise title is they first said it wasn't winnable, but then they changed it. Okay, so the franchise title was nothing but the Super WBC title. We got the Super WBO title and the Super WBA title. When Gervonta Tank Davis, if he beats Isaac Cruz or whatever happens there and they get elevated to Super WBA champion, the regular who becomes the regular WBA champion isn't the real champion. Teofimo Lopez elevated to Super WBO now, meaning that he can fight Terrence Crawford and move right up if he wants. But whoever becomes the regular WBO champion isn't the real WBO champion. It's still the Super W. Same thing. Teofimo Lopez was undisputed. That's sad. Somebody has to go in the record books. Got to change that because Teofimo Lopez deserves to be undisputed. Let me know how you feel in the comments below. ShowBizz, little adult. Who that? Charles Baker. I'm coming for you this football Sunday. Everybody who's in this War Room Fantasy League, football fantasy, I'm coming for you. Charles Baker, it's me and you. First head-up game. I'm going to whip your ass. I'm out.